Title of our next story is I, 33 male, yelled at my wife, 29 female, when she asked me to do something. Now she refuses to rely on me. I did post this on relationship subreddit, but I know they tend to stick up for women more, so I wanted to post here as well to get a more unbiased opinion. A few nights ago, I was completing something for work in my office while my wife was cooking dinner when she comes into my office with a jar to open, which is a regular occurrence, and she finds it difficult most of the time. Plus, I like opening them for her. I'm not bothered, except for tonight because I needed time to finish what I was doing and not be disturbed. When I told her I needed to not be disturbed, she pleaded again that it would only take a second. It made me extremely annoyed that she wasn't listening to me, and not proud of it, of course. I yelled at her to get out of my face and my office, and a few more things that I don't really want to repeat because it makes me feel guilty. She left immediately, abandoned dinner plans, and just ordered in takeout. I apologized the next morning after she avoided me the whole night, and she seemed fine, addressing that she shouldn't have bothered me and should have left immediately when I said no. Now she never lets me help her with anything. If she needs something heavy lifted, she'll do it herself no matter how long it takes. She's moved important things from the top shelf to the bottom, so she doesn't need to ask me to get them. She's learned how to open bottles and jars by herself without my help. The last straw for me was when she opened a bottle of wine by putting it in a shoe and tapping it against the wall since she can't use a bottle opener. I questioned as to why she never asked for my help when she obviously needed it. She said that the incident we had got her thinking that she needed to be more self-reliant and that my being unavailable all the time was unrealistic. And that my being available all the time was unrealistic and needed to learn that now. I assumed she was still upset over my yelling at her and let her be, but it's still irritating me a lot. How can I assure my wife that she really can rely on me for things she can't do and that she's not alone? I've tried talking to her, but she absolutely won't budge, and I think she's still holding resentment from what happened. OP revealed in comments what he felt guilty about saying to his wife. Finally, because I was going to say, you can't really ask for our opinion here of what happened if you're not telling us everything that happened. If you say there are more things that I'm embarrassed to say here because it makes me look bad, that's the part that we need to know about. But apparently, revealed it. Comment from Redditor in response to OP. You wouldn't open a jar for your pregnant wife who was cooking you dinner and called her a see you next Tuesday and a biatch? What? Hold on. Where do you get off yelling at anyone like that, let alone your wife? Time out, let alone your pregnant wife. Whoop. And honestly, good for her for realizing it's easier to do shit by herself instead of possibly facing your wrath. Maybe this was the one-time thing, but check your temper because nothing you were doing in your office is worth making someone you supposedly love feel bad. I would add on to that, nothing you were doing in your office could be worth making someone you supposedly love feel that bad. Not just bad, but like bad. Yeah, dude, you're an asshole. You're the worst of the worst here. At least you acknowledge that you're wrong, but I apologized the next morning. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. I apologized the next morning. Okay. Let's look at it this way. Do I have a good example here? Sure. Let's go with this. This was the size of the up. Okay. This is this big. The apology was like this big. Those things do not match. If you mess up bad, if you screw up big, you apologize big, right? So the next morning he's probably like, hey, I'm sorry about what I said. And she's like, I forgive you, or it's okay. I should have left. And then they go on. But now, dear God, dude. Okay. So, I have so many problems with this because the amount of time this guy spent arguing is probably 10 times more time than it would have taken to be like, yeah, done. He spent way more time arguing his words, just the words that he said where he called her a see you next Tuesday and a bitch. That was more time than it would have taken to open the damn jar. Also, what did you want her to do? If she can't do it, and if it is necessary for the meal that she's preparing for you to eat, what did you want her to do? Unless you guys have one of the jar opener things, or she looks up some hacks, grabs a belt, or, freaking pipe wrench. What did you want her to do? Because what she learned right then was that, yeah, you're not always going to be available to help her. In fact, she should ask you last when there's no other choice, because if there's a way that she can do it herself, she avoids being called a see you next Tuesday and a bitch and being treated like shit by the person who's supposedly supposed to love her and care for her and be her partner through this and through what's to come. And I say what's to come because you don't know shit yet, OP. You think you're stressed right now. Wait till that baby's on the outside of her body. You gonna be stressed. You're gonna be hanging by a thread and you're gonna lose your filter. So if this is the filtered version of you now, get into counseling, learn how to control your shit before the baby gets here, because you are going to end up destroying your relationship and you're going to end up getting a divorce because you can't control your mouth. You don't know fried yet. You don't know stressed yet. You're going to find out soon. You've got a race against the clock here. You have a race against the clock to get your shit in order. And right now, you need to march your ass into whatever room your wife is in for whatever task that she's trying to do without your help because you showed your ugly ass when she asked for help. You need to march right in there and be like, stop, please stop. I need to do this for you. I need to serve you, my wife, my partner. We serve each other. I need to do this for you, and I need you to know that what happened the other day was completely unacceptable, and I know that, and I know that things are about to get harder, and I want you to know that I am going to fix it. Here's what I'm going to do. Boom, 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 boom. Walk in there with a plan that is a solution, and that is about the only thing that is going to give her a glimmer of hope that you're not going to be just an outrageous asshole for what's to come. If she's in there lifting heavy shit right now, pregnant, because she would rather do that than ask for your help and potentially be called all kinds of shitty names for it, you done fucked up. Bad. Fix it. Fix it. You already got the ASCOM one. You already got the Brozo. Fix it now. That's the only choice you have. Melinda sounds like she's done. Man. I mean, if you got put in a position like this, look, there are stressful times, right? There are stressful times, and there are stressful times when you know your partner is stressed out and you know you need to tiptoe, or you know you need to just find another route, whatever that is. This was a jar that would have taken 2 seconds to open, and he spent probably a minute arguing. There are times when it's going to be stressful and you know that your partner doesn't mean what they're saying. There are times when it's going to be stressful, or when it is stressful, and you know that you don't mean what you say. You don't go for the jugular, especially over something that small. And he blew it out of proportion. He's admitting that he blew it out of proportion. But what now? Because she's showing you the damage, at least on the surface. She's showing you what the damages are. Your work to overcome that has to be as big as the damage, and then some to overcome it. And right now, all you've given is a half-hearted apology, and you're like, oh, she's still avoiding me and doing stuff on her own, and I don't. To Elizabeth's point here, the moment you call a woman the C word, it's done immediately. That's the mountain that he has to make up here. Once you called your pregnant wife the C word for asking you to open a freaking jar, you made yourself a mountain that you must scale to make up for this and repair this, because otherwise you are sinking in quicksand. It is a race against time. Shit. Armaniacal, you don't just apologize after this kind of screw up. You beg, but more importantly, show your apology by being there and going beyond. Heartsy, also, what was he so afraid of her seeing at his desk? It was very uncalled for reaction for there to be nothing to hide. I mean, it could be something like that, but it could just be a deadline kind of thing. And there are times whenever I'm like, I have to lock myself in the office because I have to get this done. I have 30 minutes to get it done, whatever it is. But I still go back to he spent more time arguing than he would have opening the jar, and there was no alternative. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been there.